What's up, everybody? It's Citrus County, and I'm going to do a response video to why WWE fans need to stop complaining and enjoy wrestling. Now, when I first saw this video, I actually thought maybe it might have some actual good points, but upon my discovery of this video by Kevin Castle and the TV Tracks YouTube channel, I heard a lot of inconsistencies. Now, Kevin Castle goes on to talk about how fans of WWE have become, just in his opinion, bratty and entitled. Now, as a wrestling fan, I do not like this statement at all because I think it's quite, if not one of the most insulting things you could ever say about wrestling fans. Now, given the treatment of wrestling fans so far in the 6 or 7 or even 8 years, just the entire WWE lapse, but in these 6 and 7 years of recently, I think we're a little bit entitled to feel as though we need better quality to the shows. Now, he talks about the fact that the fans seem to be over analytical. We seem to nitpick at everything. We seem to just, over analyze. And basically, we're just bratty and we feel entitled. Now, part of me is not going to disagree with that. What I won't agree with is the bratty fans and entitled fans. There are some wrestling fans that are like that, but that's not the entire WWE fan base. That is a generalization that I don't like. We are not all like that. That is probably maybe a good 3 or 4% of the fans that actually feel like that. And usually at the time, it's just because of how WWE has been, been as of late. So I don't think that statement is really true in itself. He talks about the fact that fans have gotten so over analytical in terms of storylines, in terms of the guys that they're pushing, in terms of just in general, who's the WWE champion, who's this, who's that, just in terms of like superstars that we want. Now, one thing about me is that I was not like this before, but in about the good 5 years that I've watched WWE, going on 6 years, it has shown me that in order for me to actually watch the show, I have to figure out who I like and who I don't like. Does that mean I'm being over analytical? To some degree, because I have to know who I'm going to cheer and who I'm not going to cheer. This year and 2015 and 2014 started to, rise when I started over analyzing and being really critical of WWE. Now, being critical is not a bad thing. Let me just get that out the way. It's not bad to be critical. I think it's a good thing to be critical. If you're not going to be critical of the company that you're watching, what are you going to do whenever they start to, fall down and they decline rapidly? Are you going to, say, I'm not going to be critical then? So, yeah, I think having some criticism is good. Then he goes on to talk about how the fans, they have been very, 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 very bratty and very entitled. Now, I don't see why he keeps going back to this, but I'm thinking it's because of the fact that WWE fans are complaining so much. Now, I will say this much. 2015 and 2014 and 2016 has made me kind of a very bitter WWE fan. And that's not because I was never like that. The reason I've gotten like that is because WWE has shown me that they lack the sincerity to actually give the fans what they want. It is not something that just came upon me to just be a Grinch or be negative just because. This is the reason that WWE fans as a whole, and as a whole, I'm talking about every single fan, as a whole, have become very negative. If a show lacks the creativity or lacks good storylines to actually make something cohesive that can go and benefit the fans in the future, that's bad. That shows you how much they're willing to put into something. Storylines with the Roman Reigns and Triple H are a big example of why WWE is failing. Failing big time. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that WWE hasn't made good storylines. It's just that now it's much more relevant when WWE does make horrible storylines. It's more easy to pick them out because you can tell when a storyline's good and when it's not good. Now, I know what you're gonna say, but you guys still overanalyze. But you know what? Now we're in a society where being outspoken and oh my gosh, did my camera just drop a little bit? Sorry about that, guys. Being outspoken and being opinionated is a good thing. Does that mean that you have to always spat out your opinion? No. But sometimes you have to in order to get somebody's attention. Sometimes in times like this, you need to go out and speak on what you believe is wrong or what you believe needs to be fixed. Now, he goes on a rant about the fans hating Roman Reigns and disliking Roman Reigns. And this is where I just freaking lose it all because I'm like, this guy is clearly a Roman Reigns fan. Now, I'm going to say this now. I was one of the very few fans that actually gave Roman Reigns a chance. There were about a good 80% of the fans that just would not give Roman Reigns the time of day because of the whole Royal Rumble situation with Daniel Bryan and the whole thing with Batista. And I was one of the very few fans that actually gave him a chance. But because of the way they booked Roman Reigns, because of the storyline, because of the whole Royal Rumble that happened this year, it made me hate him. It did the opposite. Now, he goes on to say that the fans, I have not seen the WWE fans boo Roman Reigns or leave the arena. That statement is so inaccurate. It's so ridiculously stupid. If you had not seen the previous Raws leading up to WrestleMania, then maybe you should go back and watch because I remember exactly what happened. He got booed, he got silenced, and then he got booed again. And in this WrestleMania, as soon as his entrance came out, he got booed, and then what does WWE do? They censor us. They can't take the fact that we don't like him. So what do? Sorry, you guys, I have to tighten this up a little. Oh crap, I don't want to break it. Sorry about that. My thing's sliding down for some reason. What do? They censor us. They pretty much mute all them house mics, all the fans that were booing Roman Reigns. And you can tell because as soon as his entrance starts, they abruptly shut down any boos that came out of the arena. And that's what's really annoying to me, that WWE thinks that that's okay to do as a fan. I don't have to like the person that you're trying to present as a hero. You don't always get the hero that you want. Roman Reigns is a good example of why WWE needs to stop trying to push people down our throats. It's been said that some people who are presented as heroes are better off being villains. And Roman Reigns is no exception to this. Now, just the ignorance and the idiocracy that is going through Kevin Castle's voice, it's so stupid. If you had watched WrestleMania 32, you would know that basically everybody that started to watch the Roman Reigns versus Triple H, everybody was leaving the arena. You could just see pictures and giant chunks of the arena just leaving. And you know what? Remember what happened when they started to show that Roman Reigns won the match? Look at what happened. 5 seconds in, they are panning his face. And then what happens? They pan around the arena. Why? You know, why is that? Was it convenient because they wanted to show the pretty arena? No, it wasn't because of that. It's because no fan wanted to see him win. Now that's saying something. When your top face, who is supposed to be a hero and he's supposed to connect with the audience, isn't connecting, isn't making fans happy. So you know you did something wrong. So I don't like the fact that Kevin Castle, tries to project the fact that the fans, don't dislike Roman Reigns. We don't like him. There's a good 20, not even 20%. Let me put it down to a good maybe 5% of the fans in WWE that actually like him. And for those 5% that like Roman Reigns, well, you know what? You're gonna like who you like. I can't, disagree with what you want, who you want as champion. But for the majority of fans, we don't like him for various different reasons. And then he goes on and he talks about how Raw has been selling out on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. I just, if this was accurate, then I would have said nothing. But that is the most inaccurate statement ever to be said in WWE history. You know why it's so inaccurate? Because if you have ever looked back in history and you start to see why the show started declining, even when it was in WCW and it was, back when it was still good, but people could tell when the show was kind of deteriorating. And I want to say around 2007, the dreaded year where Chris Benoit and the whole situation with his family and the tragedy happened, that's when WWE started to decline majorly. Now, for him to say that the Monday Night Raw is selling out consistently, what is wrong with you? First of all, it is nowhere near where it used to be. Fans are still fed up, and the fans that actually still buy the tickets are just there because it's the show. It's right there. But most of the time, we're feeling lackluster shows. There are filler matches, and filler matches are the worst matches of all time because they don't even add to any substance. They're not going to go into any storyline heading into the next pay-per-view. So that's why those matches suck so badly. But what I can't seem to get is how he thinks that Monday Night Raw and WWE has been selling out shows consistently. You are settling for mediocrity. It is ridiculous for you to even come up with that statement. Now, I don't even watch SmackDown. And the reason I don't watch SmackDown is because WWE doesn't make SmackDown a priority. I'm sorry to say that if WWE actually made SmackDown a priority, would I be watching? Yes, I would, but I don't. And for the fact that it's on Thursday, and I just don't remember to watch it. But, it shows you how much WWE cares about their shows. They make SmackDown the greatest granddaddy of them all. But when it comes to SmackDown, it's just a show. It's not written to be something, to make storylines. It used to be that if you go to SmackDown, you'd watch superstars come out of their storylines. You'd watch them make superstars. John Cena, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, just a few people off that list. And those were major superstars. But nowadays, you don't even see that anymore. And WWE has not been selling out. They haven't, especially with the Roman Reigns crap. So, I think the fact that he is saying that fans need to stop complaining and enjoy wrestling is ridiculous. Because what you're telling me is that if this company were to die off tomorrow, you wouldn't care because you just enjoyed wrestling. That's what you're telling me. You don't care if this business is failing or if it's succeeding. You only care, you only enjoy it because you're selling for mediocrity. You're settling for, oh, it may not be a good show, it may not be a great show, it may be a horrible show, but I still love it. To end this video off, I'm going to talk about WWE's biggest problems, and I'm going to probably do either a top 10 or a top 7, depending on how many problems I can post up. And I want you guys to hit the comments and tell me, what do you think are WWE's biggest issues, from top 7 to top 10s to top 5s? Hit the comments. Tell me what you think about WWE's biggest problems are. Hit that like button and smash the sub button. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm Sister Kenny out. Peace.